Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today. It's been a crazy week, as you all could imagine. We started the week chasing fires down in the southeast portion of the county in the community of Potrero. Immediately had to make a hard pivot to the right to go and start preparing for the effects of the storm. But rest assured, your San Diego County fire agencies are well prepared and up to the challenge. Across the county, all of your fire stations and fire departments are fully staffed, and many have augmented their staffing and resource capability to provide additional surge capacity for this storm. Amongst a coordinated effort with Cal OES, we have 6 water rescues strategically placed throughout the county, 10 additional strike teams in the county, as well as numerous command and general staff throughout the command centers to help organize emergency response. We've also moved four-wheel drive fire engines to some of the more rural and isolated communities within the county that have the risk of being cut off should conditions deteriorate. So far, we've been very glad to see that the public has been heeding the warning and paying attention, being proactive and taking the matters into their hands. We've given out 36,000 sandbags out of San Diego County fire station locations in the last 48 hours, and there's more available to them currently. For exact locations with specific addresses, you can go to readysandiego.org. And with that, I would like to turn this over to Derek Gaddy, for the Public Works Assistant Director.
Good afternoon. Your health and safety are the top priority of our Public Works field crews who have been out in the community for days preparing for the impact of the storm. We are closely monitoring its path through our weather center, and our dedicated team has been coordinating efforts around the clock to ensure safe roads and public spaces throughout unincorporated area. Before Hilary arrived, our crews cleaned roadways and storm drains of debris and posted road closure signs at known flooding spots. Our equipment and teams are ready to respond quickly as conditions change, and our county road stations are supplying the fire stations with free sand and sandbags to help protect your property. Please stay at home if you can. This helps our roadways keeps our roadways clear for emergency responses. If you have to go out, look for closure signs and do not enter flooded areas on foot or in your car, since you can't tell how deep the water is. Please use alternate routes to ensure your safety where you can. We continue to update our social media pages with road closures and other important information. For Facebook and Twitter, see SD County DPW, all one word, and there'll be more information posted there. Again, as you heard from some of the other speakers, you would certainly want to also register for alertsandiego.org and download the SD Emergency mobile app to stay informed. Thanks and be safe. I'd like to introduce Carolyn Nguyen, the Chief Executive Officer of San Diego Gas and Electric.
Well, thank you, Derek, and thank you, Chair Vargas. I'd like to thank everyone here. Thank you for your commitment and the critical partnership that enable us to work very closely together as we ready our response organizations and the people in our communities. I think it's really important to mention that there's something unique about our region in that there's such a strong spirit of collaboration when you think about whose responsibility it is to prepare and respond to the needs of the people of our community. And at SDG&E, it's because of these events that we've built a capability of our meteorology team that have these advanced capabilities to be able to model and to be able to produce real-time data critical for first responders that we share with a variety of emergency responders, that we share with the cities and counties and all of our customers. Now, our weather team has been tracking and monitoring this along with NOAA and the National Weather Service for the past 10 days. And that has really been beneficial for all of us because it's allowed us time to prepare and to be able to develop plans. And these are unprecedented weather conditions, and I find myself saying that quite often, that we have these unprecedented weather conditions. But it has provided really critical input for our readiness plan. I think the two weather elements that we're most concerned about with this event are certainly the rain and the wind. And the wind too often causes trees and other types of objects and debris to fall into our power lines and become airborne. And I think the rain can saturate grounds and cause the trees to topple. And it's also causing cars to veer off and run into our infrastructure. We've already had some cars run into our infrastructure and cause power outages this morning. I think relevant here, SDG&E's continuing efforts to improve our system resiliency and our reliability, and that's going to help us in this event. Today, over 60% of our system is underground, and we continue to place more lines underground. And also, we are continuing to build more resiliency in our overhead system by replacing our wood poles with more resilient steel poles. I think that's going to serve us well in these more extreme events. And this work will continue to be a priority for us. I think additionally, these heavy rain, it's going to cause flooding, and it has the potential for customer impacts and can impact our capability to respond to these outages. So as we do for these events, you know, SDG&E has been preparing. We have our Emergency Operations Center activated, and we've strategically positioned our field crews to be able to respond, and we've been able to do so to date. We've secured extra crews, extra equipment, and we're ready. We're ready and we're bracing for the brunt of the storm. But I want to be really transparent to our customers and tell you that we're going to quickly and restore power, but it's really going to be dependent on the weather impacts. You know, all the flooding can cause us to not be able to get in and have access to some of these areas. And some of these wind conditions, we may not be able to get our line people up in our bucket trucks because the winds may cause us not to be able to do that. So I really want to make sure that our customers are prepared for prolonged outages. We're hoping we can get to everything and get all customers back on very quickly, but I just want to make sure that the customers are prepared. So I'm going to ask for everyone's patience and understanding as power restoration may take longer than normal. And, you know, with storms, overhead power lines can be caused to drop and fall. So I want to make sure that every customer knows that if a power line is on the ground, do not touch it. Assume that it's got electricity still flowing through it and call 911. Also, if customers are smelling gas, call 911. And, you know, the brunt of the storm is coming, so we are prepared for it. And we have sent direct communications to our customers. Call 911 or call into our call center if you have any questions. We do have an SDG&E app. It's got a breadth of information on it, including where all of the outages are. And we will try to keep our estimated restoration times up to date as best as we can, given the breadth of the number of outages that could happen over the next 24 hours. Thank you, and I'd like to introduce Jeff Toney, the County Office of Emergency Services Director.
Thank you, Caroline. Today I'd like to provide a look behind the scenes at our storm response. As Chairwoman Vargas said, our County Emergency Operations Center is activated at a very high level, and it serves as the hub for regional disaster response and coordination. Many city jurisdictional EOCs are also activated and closely coordinating with us. As with any response, we take a whole community approach, working closely with the National Weather Service, CAL FIRE, the Sheriff's Department, Public Works, but also with the Governor's Office of Emergency Services, Caltrans, 211, Red Cross, the County Office of Education, and many, many volunteer organizations. For safety concerns, many county facilities are closed. Please visit alertsandiego.org for updates. If you live in another city jurisdiction, go to their homepage for updates on their facilities. For all other non-emergency storm information, please dial 211 for updates. It's also very important to register for Alert San Diego. This is our region's mass notification system. Register your cell phone and email for critical updates. In the last 48 hours alone, we've received 35,000 additional registrations. It's also important to download the SD Emergency Mobile application on your smartphone. This has additional updates and resources all in the palm of your hand. We will continue to lean forward to build capacity and capability in our response and our recovery, support our first responders in the field, and protect the public. Thank you for being vigilant, and we'll continue to work hard behind the scenes to get through this storm together. Thank you very much, and I'd like to hand it back to Chairwoman Vargas.
So again, I want to say thank you to everyone who's been working hard on this. I want to make sure I emphasize how grateful I am to our county team for staying on top of this and for monitoring this for the last couple of weeks, actually, and to SDG&E for being a true partner in this process as well, and actually, and the National Weather Service. And so, with that, I'm happy to open it up for any questions that you might have. I want to make sure that we remind everyone: stay home, stay informed, and stay safe. And look at the webpage, right, and sign up to Alert San Diego so you can get timely information. Questions? All right. Okay. Good. Yes, sir.
Can you tell me, it looks like the brunt of the storm is going to be done by 9-ish.
Yes.
Can you tell me what happens after that, after the storm passes through?
Well, I think what we're going to continue to do is monitor any of the damage that has taken place, if any, and what happens, and then we're going to make sure that we have a plan in place to help support those that may be in need, working closely with SDG&E and our first responders to make sure that we are addressing that. But we'll keep you updated. I think that's the most important piece, that we're going to overly communicate with our communities so that folks have the information that they need. But for now, just asking folks to stay home and stay informed, stay safe. All right. With that, thank you very much.